Hello everyone, welcome back to ThoseYGOguys. I'm your host Alessandro, and yes, it's been quite some time since you have last seen my face. I'm sorry for the massive dual videos montage I've been throwing out to you guys like every single day. I'm trying to get as many decks that I have being featured in each duel as much as I can before the new format starts. So after the 6 Samurai dual video game matches, we have about 7 more. So stay tuned for more of that. Other updates, this coming Saturday I will be doing a review on the Hero Strike structure deck that is coming out in the OCG. I will be doing a review video. I'll be doing a video on Saturday night, and maybe it'll be up immediately after that or Sunday. We'll just have to wait and see how things are going to work out. And then next week I will do an opening video on the Lightsworn structure deck. So that's pretty much the plan and the setup for this week and the next week. So without further ado, in this video we're going to be talking about the newly updated OCG list that's going to be coming out this coming July, and I have to say this is a very interesting list. So why am I covering the OCG if it has nothing to pertain to the TCG? Well, in some ways it gives us some food for thought of what to expect for the TCG of Konami to make some sort of hits when they compile some information and make the TCG ban list. But of course, as we all realize, predicting Konami's motives and how they're going to go about it's a lot more difficult than it has been in previous times. But without further ado, let's get down and start cracking on the newest and the latest OCG ban list. So for the July 2014 ban list, they have no cards game ban. Okay, that's interesting. Been a while since they don't have anything game ban. Then we have the limited cards, Artifact Molotech, Armageddon Knight, Dragon Ravine, Dragon Shrine, Neobug Nest. Semi-limited, we have Elemental Hero Bubbleman, Chronomaly Niberdisc, Wind Up Shark, TG Striker, Mizuki, Legendary 6 Samurai Shian, Evil Storm Ophion, and Abyss Sphere. And finally, no longer limited, Chaos Sorcerer, Plague Spreader Zombie, Cyberstein, Rescue Rabbit, Fire Formation Takey, Royal Tribute, Black Whirlwind, and Sacred Sword of the Seven Stars. So let's get down and start cracking on each section of the list, starting with the limited section. So Artifact Molotech. Before Duelist Alliance set have been released, or basically the set that contains the Shadows, Yangzings, and Satella Knights, there was a deck known as the Chronofax. Basically is the Chronomaly archetype with the Niberdisc combining with the artifacts, and you got this rank 5 spammage, and it's a very powerful engine and very popular deck. But I think the deck kind of dwindled down ever since Duelist Alliance has come out. It's not a bad deck, but it's a very popular deck. So hitting Artifact Molotech has been a very popular choice that many players play in and like throw in each different decks. When you use Artifact Sanctum, basically your go-to guy is the Moral Tech, and you usually cause disruption towards your opponent's play. So that's interesting. Are we going to see something very similar to that? Who knows? Armageddon Knight, and then I'm going to throw in Neobug Nest as well, because basically this is, I guess we will say this is those hits are towards Shadows, since they are starting to dominate the OCG format. Shadows have been a really powerful archetype, and they're starting to show in large numbers. They're taking the metagame by storm. I don't think those hits really would matter too much, in all honesty. That is a sad fact right there. Like Neobug Nest, okay. It's actually pretty interesting, but now they have the booster set that says to be the OCG version of what was it? Dragons of Legends. So basically, they're gonna get like Curry Bandit, Mathematician. So really, those losses not as bad as people are making it sound. So really, losing an Armageddon Knight and Neobug Nest is not gonna hurt them that much. Now, granted, the Armageddon Knight is a pretty interesting hit. You can use Armageddon Knight as a fusion material for El Shadow Midrash, since it requires a Shadow and a Dark attribute. And what do you know? Armageddon Knight is a Dark attribute. So they're trying to cut that down. I don't know how this is going to impact on Shadows, but in all honesty, I think Shadows is still going to be a real strong contending deck, as always. Dragon Ravine, Dragon Shrine. This is basically towards Dragon Rulers still being popular in the OCG. I'm surprised they didn't decide to go ahead and outright ban them, but you know, that may be a little bit too harsh to ban Dragon Rulers, but I don't know. It's to the point where I really don't know how Konami is going to do about, especially the one in TCG. Because personally, since they banned Stratos and they unrestricting the cards that they tried to limit so that Stratos won't be as busted, now Dragon Rulers are starting to feel that kind of, it's kind of like the next Stratos in a way. So I don't know how TCG Konami is going to work about. I don't think Dragon Rulers is that humongous of a problem. There are just other cards in the TCG that needs to be addressed, but we'll just get to that much later in the video. So yeah, so they're trying to quell Dragon Rulers, so just to push the newer products in, which that's pretty much the obvious motive. Now here's the real interesting part. Now the semi-limited and the no longer limited. Now people are going to be really interested in see what cards are there trying to loosen some screws up and let other decks to have a new addition to a card and try to compete in the current metagame. First up, Elemental Hero Bobbleman. I think back in the February list, Bobbleman was put to 1. Well, they still have Stratos, and I think they have other restrictions, but now they decide, you know, to promote the new hero structure deck. They're playing Bobbleman to 2, which is interesting. Chronomaly Nebra Disc. Chronomaly is actually a pretty good card. I mean, it's a pretty good archetype, and Nebra Disc is a very good card. And I'm kind of glad they kept it as a semi-limit, because there's not really a whole lot of really good Chronomaly cards. I mean, yeah, there are some pretty interesting and pretty cool cards that you can work about, but the archetype as a whole is not that strong, and Nebra Disc kind of gives that competitive vibe for that deck. So I'm kind of glad to see Nebra Disc sticking around at semi-limited status, so Konami can at least try to compete. Wind Up Shark going from limited to semi-limited. Now in the OCG they have Wind Up Magician at 3, but they also have Wind Up Care Mighty in the limit section since the previous April 2014 list, with the addition of Wind Up Hunter being banned. So that's actually pretty interesting. I don't think Wind Up is going to do a whole lot of impact, so it is pretty interesting. So we're about to see Windows about to be full power once again in that list. So yeah, TG Striker at 2. It's interesting. I will say that. Now do take into consideration that Trishula is unbanned in the OCG, and we don't have Trishula, so there's kind of a difference. So I think they're testing water, see, just to make sure nothing like TG agents going to be making a big impact onto the metagame. Which, seeing how Shadows and Satella Knights are doing, I don't think is going to really make a big difference. And you will be hearing me about Shadows and Satella Knights a lot, because those two archetypes are really strong right out of the first set they just released. But yeah, I'll get to those much later. Then we have Mizuki at 2. Okay, so they're testing with zombies. Alright, fair enough. Legendary 6 Samurai Shien. This is actually a pretty interesting hit. I mean, actually, the new edition. My bad. Now, yes, they still have Gateway of 6 in the OCG. And to be honest, 6 Samurais, it's not like the most greatest competitive deck out there. I mean, back in the days, 6 Samurai were very good because spells and traps were so defying. Like, they defined the format and all that. And now, in the current state of the game, no matter whether it's OCG or TCG, monster effects is now the key thing. So, and unfortunately, they don't have real monster effect negations, so they have to rely on other cards that negate effects, such as Phoenix Chain or Breakthrough Skills, and so on and so forth. So, that's actually interesting. I wonder if TCG Konami would do something similar for these older archetypes. Who knows? Then we have Evil Storm Ophion coming back to the semi-limited section. Well, not coming back, but going back up. During the February 2014 list, Ophion was put to 1 because, Verse/Evil Storm has been a very popular deck in the OCG, and they're trying to quell. And now I think they realize that, Ophion, to be honest, Ophion is kind of like that card that keeps crazy stuff in check. It's like your checks and balance. And to be honest, looking at Shadows, and if you know El Shadow Midrash, it's pretty much Ophion on steroids. Funny enough, Midrash is level 5 fusion. You can do it with instant fusion. It can be destroyed by card effect. I mean, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. So that's make things a lot more harder than how you deal with Ophion. And on top of that, and yes, it's not a strong, beefy monster, but its effect is pretty powerful, where no matter what kind of special summon you do, you're limited to 1 special summon, and that's it. So, that can be a problematic for certain decks. So, yeah. And finally, Abyss Sphere. So, they have already touched Mermails for a while, and Abyss Sphere was put to 1 in the last September ban list, if I'm not mistaken, for the OCG. Yes, they address Abyss Sphere and Mermail Abyss Teus, and they put them both at 1 with the, excuse me for a sec, with the number 11 Big Eye at 1, but and then I think in the February list, I believe, they put Atlantean Dragoons at 1. And then later on they put Tile to 1. So basically, in the OCG for Mermails, Teus is still at 1. Sphere is now at 2. Dragoon is still at 1. Deep Sea Diva is still at 3. And Mermail Bisgun is still at 3. So, this is actually interesting. I wonder how Konami is going to go about with this upcoming TCG list because I'll get to that later after I'm done with the unlimited section. So let's move on really quickly with the unlimited section. We have Chaos Sorcerer. Okay, more power to Chaos. Not going to make a big difference. Plague Spirit Zombies. Yeah, whatever. Cyber Sign. Came back at 1 during the February list. Did it do anything? No. So, I mean, there's a lot of effect negation out there. So, paying 5,000 life points for what? Yeah. Rescue Rabbit 2-3. That's actually pretty cool. They had Tour Guide from the Underworld at 3 from, I think, the last April ban list. April 2014. So, basically, Dino Rabbit is pretty much at full power minus the Sangan. But, hey, it's actually pretty cool. Fire Formation Tanky went from 2 to 3. So, the only thing from Fire Fizz got hit was actually Rooster. And it's at 1. And that's it. Woo. Royal Tribute 2-3, so that's actually interesting. I guess Gravekeeper's not that popular over there, so I guess they're trying to push Gravekeepers. That's probably what I'm seeing. Black Whirlwind, okay, sure. Blackwing's more power. I guess they're trying to boost the sell for the new Dragon Legend OCG version set, so, you know, promote Black Sonic and stuff like that. Alright, makes sense. And Sacred Sword is 7 stars, you know. Dragon Rulers are no longer the big thing. So, I guess that's the logic right there. So, yeah. So, basically from this list, Shadows are going to be a really strong contender. And Satellite Knights will also be a strong contender. This is something that we have to take into consideration what's going to happen in the TCG whenever the list is going to come up. Now, there are certain cases scenarios that will be needed addressed that we probably have something different from the OCG. Like, start things off with cards like the hands, for example. Will the hands be addressed on the list? Like, would they need to get hit, or would they keep them around and let the not so competitive decks try to have some sort of the edge, trying to fight back against the new power creep known as the Shadows and the Satellite Knights coming out once Duel's Alliance comes out? Who knows? Other address such as like soul charge, like whether this thing's going to be banned or limited or who knows what. That's another speculation on that. I really don't know because I'm not making any ban list predictions because there's no telling what Konami's going to do. That's my honest opinion. I don't even know how in the world they're going to do things. I can tell you Gear is probably going to get hit, and deep down I've already accepted this. I love Gear Karkuri. From the way the situation is looking, I'll probably be playing pure Gear after this. I mean, once the list is announced, probably. I mean, I guess that's how things have become. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm more concerned about Mermos because, funny enough, like, before the April 2014 list for TCG, the hits were something that us Mermail players could easily brush it off like it's nothing. Like, Dragoons put to 1, yeah, that kind of sucks for, also with the Deep Sea Diva 2-1, so that kind of sucks for the Megalo Diva OTK combo thing. So that kind of blows. And it also hurts searchability, so yeah, there you have it. Then Tile went to 1. Not that it really matters. Then Gun to 1. Then that's where it hurt a lot. Gun really did hurt. So I don't know how they're going to go about. And I'm kind of a little worried about how they're going to go about. Let's see. I think they do need to find some sort of address for artifacts because the fact that it's so splashable in so many decks is well, yes, it's good, but at the same time, it's just Moral Tech, Sanctum, and that's it. It's, you don't really focus on the other artifact cards, so I don't know how they're gonna go about. Let's see, what else? Honestly, I'm not too concerned about Fire Fist. Fire Fist isn't, I don't know. Boojins, honestly, I don't know what to say about Boojins. I mean, yeah, they top a few times here and there. It's just, it's nowhere near the level of like Hat Deck or Geargius. It's like the lower end of the spectrum. I don't even know how they're going. This list is going to be really interesting. That's all I'm going to say. And I hope we're going to see more cards, like Konami just, give certain cards and archetypes a break. Like for windups, just bring back Zenmai, ban Hunter. I think that will make us windup players, even including myself, really happy. Sheen into 2 will be actually interesting to see. What happened? I don't know. Let's see. So we just had to wait and see and how would certain decks play out, especially Madolches. I almost forgot about that. And what else? Like how would they address Madolches or not? And finally, like what else? Older archetypes that you haven't mentioned. Gladiator Beast, actually. Yeah, now I remember. Just give Bestiary, go back it up. Because, honestly, Bestiary 2 wouldn't make much of a difference. Or even 3. I mean, that's the truth. I mean, I don't see what's so freaking about. I mean, what they're freaking about Gladiator Beast in the Geyser's place. I mean, whoa. Now I know a lot of people will say, bring back Stratos because the hero structure deck. But we'll get to that topic in another video. This one is probably very important for me to discuss a little full-heartedly. Dragon Ravine, as much as I really do like to see it coming back, but at the same time, there's rumors speculating that we're getting a new TCG exclusive Dragoonity card. At least that's what rumors have been. It's been going around about. So I don't know where they got their source. If you know about it, please let me know by commenting down below. But outside of that, that's all I need to say. So without further ado, take care. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys later. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.